like it's a rule you made, like I'm doing this, I have to do it. You know, the moment that those disappear and you no longer have to, there's no motivation behind it, there's no structure or reason. The moment that ends, of course you're gonna sleep in a little bit more. Of course you're gonna like might not go to the gym. Like that happens to everyone. It's not just a you thing, bro. So don't beat yourself up too bad.
I'm like waking up in the middle of my sleep cycle, so that way we can go hit the mountain real fast to come back, sleep a little bit, and then go work overnights again. You know, it's like all over the place. So once you're doing it as much as you are, that's when you realize how tough it is to be doing it as much as you are.
These things are good. Like, why am I not doing them? Like, these are like,
Here in my garage, you know what I like more than Ferraris? Knowledge. I haven't heard that meme in so long. Instead of spending all that time on that smartphone that you have on Instagram, just scrolling, and TikTok and just doom scrolling, right?
Watch Johnathan Buckhouse and listen to the Buckhouse Podcast.
You could listen to the Buckhouse Podcast where we talk about finances and talk about building business and everything.
Honestly, I don't know why I love action sports so much. Maybe it's because I'm a 90s kid, but man, I'm so drawn to action, like skateboarding, snowboarding, like surfing, wakeboarding.
Welcome back to the Buckhouse Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Benjamin Buckhouse, alongside Johnathan Buckhouse right over here. We're two brothers that get together once a week, catch up on everything, nothing, just what's going on in our lives. We just kind of go with the flow of things, just talk and catch up on things. And today's a big episode for us. Today is episode 53, but it's also the first episode of season 2. We've been doing this for over a year now, and we are incredibly excited. And so, yeah, but let's just jump straight into this, bro. What have you been up to with the spring weather that's been going on, bro?
Yeah, it's springtime up here in the mountains, or everywhere in the world. I guess in the mountains it's more delayed for spring, but we got good weather ahead of us. The snow is melting fast. My backyard terrain park is completely melted out and gone, which is fine. I'm just a little heartbroken, but I love snowboarding in the springtime. I actually kind of love summer snowboarding more than winter snowboarding, because you get to wear less clothes, the vibes are higher, the sun is out more often, it's warm. Like, winter snowboarding is sick, but not getting blasted by wind and being freezing cold is like a super perk to summer snowboarding. And it's just, I don't know, I enjoy every season, every type of snowboarding, if that makes sense. Some people only snowboard when it's like legit fresh snow, and the fact that you can ride a snowboard when it's like brand new powdery snow all the way to like 8-month-old icy melting snow, like, I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I struggled with the different types of snow, as in I'm not a big slush, like I'm not a big fan of slush. I'm not a big spring rider fan, which is funny because that's like your favorite snow to ride in, because if you fall or whatever, it's not as impactful.
Kind of ride slush more than any snow. Because if you think so, it starts getting slushy around end of March or April, like early April, it starts to get slushy. And then you got, so all April, May, June. I guess I snowboard into July. Most people don't. But like, there's just so much time to ride slush. So it's like, you gotta like it. If you're gonna be snowboarding all the time, you gotta like slush.
Yeah, I always got frustrated with how much it snags you, like it pulls you in a lot of directions. In a similar case for like driving, if you're driving in the snow, similar case, it kind of pulls you every which way. But no, I don't know what it is. Slush was never like my go-to. I don't like getting overly wet as well, and you can get pretty wet while riding in slush. But no, you're not wrong though. You do have to enjoy all the types of snow if you're going to be snowboarding as much as you do. So I guess it makes sense.
It's funny because people always ask me, like, what are you going to do in the summer? Like, what do you do in the summer? And I'm like, I still snowboard, like, but people just get out of, like, the snowboard mindset and they want to do their other things. So a lot of people like to mountain bike or go skateboarding or just do nothing. And for me, it's like, dude, I just truly enjoy trying to figure out how to get on my snowboard every, like, month of the year. It's so super fun.
I may have a biased opinion about this because that's the experience I had with it. But I've got this theory that I just came up with on the spot. But anyways, got a theory that I think that if people, or because snowboarding is such a restrictive sport, as in you can only like most people can only go like 10 times in a year, if that, right? Since you're so limited on it, that it makes it, number one, more like the itch to go do it, the drive or the want to go do it is so high for these people. But also I've got like a theory that helps it to where people think that it's like the best thing ever. Whereas for me, I felt that way, and then I lived it and went snowboarding 130 days in a single season, and I got burnt out from it. And I'm like, I think that I got a theory that unless you got that extreme passion like you, bro, where it's like that's the only thing you ever want to do in your entire life, that like people get burned out by it. So that's why the summertime is good for them, because like they go snowboarding a good amount, then they get the summertime to take a break and go do something else, and then they can come back to it in the winter. It's like they need a break from it, you know?
No, absolutely. And especially because, like, it's cold. It's difficult. Like, the sun's out. You can catch an edge and get hurt. Like, there's a lot of things that go against snowboarding. And that's why I have this new, I'm going to use the word theory because you said it. But I think people have, like, a 3-year window with snowboarding. And I've noticed it just through my super fans and people that get into the channel. Like, year 1, it's new. They're learning a bunch. So they're watching the videos. They're involved. They're asking questions. Year 2, they're starting to get good. They're super excited about it. They go like maybe 20 to 30 times because they're like, this is amazing. And then year 3 hits and they're like, oh man, like falling sucks. I really don't want to like go in the park and get hurt. The traffic is starting to piss me off. Not getting parking is starting to piss me off. I went out and it was overcasty and cold and windy, and like normally you wouldn't care because it's so new and exciting, and now it's like that's pissing you off. And then you're doing the same runs and you're getting bored because runs are truly boring. And then they get burnt out. They're like, okay, like that wasn't worth my weekend or my day off, like to go sit in I-70 traffic, to not get parking at Keystone, for it to be cold and windy, whatever. I only did 3 runs and they weren't fun, so I left early. Like no one wanted to go ride with me that day. Like you just had a really, really bad day, which is a normally typical snowboard day. Is this making sense? And so then they just start going maybe 5 times a season opposed to that 30, and they stop watching the videos daily. Like I see it. I've done this for 9 years now, so I've seen it cycle a lot of people.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate for your business, but now that you were like telling those stories, like I remember having times where I would 100% be going to the mountain, you know, super excited, but it's like, oh, I forgot this, or like, oh, we started a little bit later than we wanted to. And then it's like, yep, okay, we're stuck in traffic because, you know, something XYZ happened. And then, you know, you get to the mountain and then you realize that you left your favorite pair of gloves or your favorite pair of goggles or whatever. You're like, and then now like the start of your day has just been so skewed. And then you get to the mountain and yeah, it's like parking isn't there, or, you know, the lift lines are out the wazoo and it's negative 10 degrees. And you're just like, you just like are getting punched over and over and over, and eventually you're like, I am just mad right now. Like I'm just mad. And so yeah, I 100% know what you mean, and that is a terrible, like that's such a tough experience. But you know, most of the time it's that like there might be some traffic. If you remembered all your gear, you got to the mountain on time, you had fun. It was a bluebird sunny day, not too hot, not too cold. You know, like there's more good days than bad days. But when you have a bad day, it is very, very frustrating.
No, totally. And once again, if you only have 2 days off in the week and the one day you went snowboarding was such a dud day, your urge to do it the next time, it just, you know, it's so much lower. Like I have bad days on the mountain, and it's hard because when I was daily vlogging, I'd be like, this day sucks, and people would be like, at least you're on the mountain. Hard to have a bad day on the mountain. I'm like, dude, it is so easy to have a bad day on the mountain when it's your everyday type thing. But like, thank God, those bad days are quickly easy to be replaced with good ones. And then I've also been very good at knowing when it's going to be a bad day and like not going. Like in the springtime, if it's going to be colder temp and cloudy, I just don't go out because that means the snow is never going to melt. The snow is going to be super firm. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, and when we were doing the 130 days, we were working an 8-hour shift before going to the mountain, and it's, you know, like you'd have a frustrating day at work or whatever, but also there'd be days where the schedules would be slightly different, to where I was working like overnights, and then we would have to, like, you know, you would be working the normal 3:30 to 12:30 shift. So then I'm like waking up in the middle of my sleep cycle, so that way we can go hit the mountain real fast to come back, sleep a little bit, and then go work overnights again. You know, it's like all over the place. So no, yeah, it was tough. It was tough. I'm not saying that it wasn't fun or anything, but I think that once you're doing it as much as you are, that's when you realize how tough it is to be doing it as much as you are.
And we're talking about this with snowboarding, but this goes to anything, you know, whether it's tennis or basketball, like anything you're passionate about or wanting to get good at, and you're going out and doing it consistently. I think the only way to get to a high level at it and really push that, whatever it is you have to be able to get through the monotonous days, get through the repetitive days, get through the roughy crappy days, and just when you have a good day, like really recognize it's a good day and just eat it up.
Yeah, a lot of people say it's repetition. A lot of people say it's or there was that saying we talked about a little bit ago, where it's like extraordinary people are, well, it's doing boring things an extraordinary amount of times is what makes you extraordinary, right? So it's like, if you're able to do the same workouts, if you're able to do the same thing just over and over and over, and just do that boring stuff over and over, that's what makes you extraordinary. So yeah, it's those people that are willing to show up and get it done with. But it's about getting that 1% better. Speaking of which, we got merch representing 1% better. Got it up on the screen for you right here. So if you're interested in sayings and everything like that Johnathan are into, we got a whole merch line for that. See links all over the place, links down in the description. Go check those out, guys.
Well, real quick, because that came out of left field. For season 2, Ben's been working hard on a new merch line. A lot of these sayings are from what we say in the podcast, or like I got the one more on my hand tattooed. Ben's got the no one cares, work harder, and that's a shirt as well. So like a whole new merch line based off little sayings and things from the podcast, which is super rad. Ben's been putting a lot of effort into this channel, and the cool thing is, once this channel can start creating revenue and hopefully eventually get to a place where my YouTube channel supports me for a living, we could funnel all the money from this podcast to Ben to get him to be able to working full time, more effort, more energy into the whole thing, which would be super rad. So if you want to support us, want to support the Buckhouse Podcast, consider snagging merch, even snagging a little sticker. We have all kinds of stickers and stuff that will tremendously support us. If you send it to us on Instagram, we have a Buckhouse Podcast Instagram. Not only will we get featured on the Instagram, but we can say thank you for the support.
Yeah, sorry about the left field there. It's just we kind of didn't talk about that at the beginning of the podcast, and I saw an opportunity and I took it. Got to represent the merch. But yes, bro, thank you for breaking that down for everybody. Yes, we got a whole merch line. Super excited about it. We'll talk about that more later. But yeah, it's about doing that 1% better everyday stuff. You know, it's about showing up every single day, no matter how you're feeling, right? And that's what will separate you from the rest of the pack. So
I heard something from Alex Hermosi. I like some of his stuff, but he said something where it's like, if you want to be successful in business, sometimes like it's like seasons, and like the people that end up being great long term like can get through the like I don't remember what he said verbatim, but basically, and I feel like it's the window that I'm in right now, where it's like sometimes it's just years of doing the same thing. And you're just like, just stick with it. As long as you don't quit, as long as you're just there, like it's going to work out. So, I mean, I definitely did new things this season, but I feel like I've hit like 3 years in a row of like it's been the same outcome, even doing different things. It's been the same outcome, and it's like, okay, like I know eventually like what I'm doing is gonna get better, get bigger. Like there's definitely more ahead of me. I just have to like keep staying the course, and then the new thing's gonna pop up, and then I'll go to the next level.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because there's also like it's a lot of business is going to be you doing the same thing pretty much day in and day out, but then you also need to have the ability to like adapt and overcome things, right? But then it's also like insanity is the definition of doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results, right? So it's like it's a mixture of, yes, in business there are going to be months and even years where it feels like you're doing the same thing over and over and over. And although that may be the right thing to do in that moment, you also have to know when to like switch things up and change things up. And I think that you're pretty good at that, bro. I think that you're good at realizing the change that your channel needs to go in. Because although you've changed and then you've gone back on things, right? You were like, all right, no more daily long form videos. Then you're like, that was a bad idea. I need to do daily long form videos. And then, you talked about doing 3 shorts a day to you're like, now maybe 3 shorts is too much, right? So it's like you're being ambitious, and you are going to try these new ideas and everything. And that's what you need to do. But it's also good for you to realize like, hey, that didn't really work. Let me switch it up again,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so I'm excited to always be trying new things and taking risks, and even just like everyone only gets about 1,000 views, especially like right now, like the Keystone top to bottom runs. But like I'm so excited that after this season I'll have 90% of every run at Keystone in a playlist, and someone can just go in and binge watch it, and that will be on YouTube forever. It's like you've accomplished something, you've done something, and no one else has done it. So now, like, I don't know. I like doing new things, even if it's like short term doesn't feel like it's the right move. Like long term, I think there's a lot of really cool plays and things.
Yeah, I think that these are those evergreen videos that we've talked about before. If you guys are not familiar with that term, evergreen are videos that pretty much are always going to be searchable. They're always going to be relevant. They're not kind of time restricted. So, something like how to do a 180 with a snowboard or on a snowboard, right? How to do a 180 on a snowboard. That's something that somebody could have looked up 10 years ago, and that's something that somebody could look up today, and that's something that somebody could look up in 10 years, right? So these videos for you, bro, are theoretically forever. And the reason why I say theoretically is because, one day Keystone may change the name of the run or change, the route it goes on or this or that. Who knows what's going to happen? But for the most part, this run is always going to be there, and it's always going to be searchable. So to have those all over your channel is always good to have those evergreen videos.
Yeah, and also they fit. I felt like with this season, with me focusing on short form, it fit a good, for at least me mentally, of like I'm still caring about my YouTube channel. I'm still keeping the routine of like, because there's like slight edits, even though they're like super fast, but like they're still like going into the editor, exporting an edit, uploading the edit, making a thumbnail. Like it kept all of that routine, and I was doing them semi-daily. I posted like 70 or 80 of them. So it's not like I didn't post long form videos, even though in my head it feels like I didn't post any long form videos this year. It's just, man, my head will beat me up sometimes.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. I'm all over my head right now. I'm just gonna be quite candid here and just say like my discipline has been struggling. Number one, my energy has been extremely low, which that's was like you just gotta work through that. But it's like my energy has been extremely low. I've been struggling to get up early. I've just been all over the place. And then of course I then get into my own head and beat myself up, and then like, dude, it's such a spiraling effect. And I'm in a tough spot right now, to be honest, but I'm excited to be on this podcast this early in the morning.
Well, you just finished 75 hard, and then, which is extreme discipline. And so then you have, in a way, like, I don't want to say like a rebellious stage, but the moment that those it's subconscious, or like the things, like it's a rule you made, like I'm doing this, I have to do it. The moment that those disappear and you no longer have to, there's no motivation behind it, there's no structure or reason. The moment that ends, of course you're gonna sleep in a little bit more. Of course you're gonna might not go to the gym. Like, that happens to everyone. It's not just a you thing, bro. So don't beat yourself up too bad. But I mean, I totally understand and get it. Like when you're like, dude, I'm supposed to be waking up and working on shipwreck gaming. I'm supposed to be hitting the gym still. I'm trying to gain weight. I'm trying to do all this rad stuff. But why am I not? And it's just, you got to get the right motivators again.
Dude, it's funny that you said that, because that's actually exactly what Kirsty said yesterday. She was like, I feel like I'm almost rebelling against it, because she was like, we spent 75 days of like, oh, we can't do this, or we can't do that, or we have to do this, we have to do that. And it's like, now that we don't, it's like, I'm not going to do anything. Like, and it was, she said that exactly what you said. She was like, I feel rebellious towards no, she knows what she's supposed to be doing. But yeah, it's just like, I don't want to. And I feel that, dude, because I'm like, I got to be up early. And then it's just like, do I though? And then, now, I know that I'm not alone on this. It's just hard not to beat myself up, though, because it's just like, I don't know. I realize I set pretty high standards for myself. And even though I may not achieve them, I still set those standards, and I don't give myself any slack. And then I just beat myself up. And then it just makes it worse, to tell you the truth. So I'm in a small little rut right now. I really want to just get past this rebellious stage. Like, I want to go back into like having that every day go to, do something or do this and do that. Yeah. And what's funny is life never stops. So it's not like, oh, tomorrow it'll start. No, it's not. You got to just do it today, and got to push myself to do that. So,
dude, I get it. I absolutely get it. I also set high standards, and, I have edits that I could be doing, or reframing I could be getting done. And then sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm just like, no, I'm going to do this other thing. That's like, still needs to get done, but it's a little less work, or it's just something different, and it's like, and at the end of the day, I'm like, dang, I should have done that. Like, it's so easy though to like, if there's no deadline to it, I'm gonna put it off. Oh, there's no deadline to it, I'm gonna put it off.
Deadlines are, admittedly, that's something I've always struggled with, is deadlines, in the sense that it's like having some type of consequence behind a deadline that you set for yourself. Does that make any sense? Like, I could set a deadline for myself, but it's like, what happens if I don't achieve it? Like, most of the time, nothing, so it's like, that's something I've always struggled with.
And even like with my big calendar, it has a thing in the front that's like, what do you want to focus on? And the other day I was like, oh, I want to read a book in the month of April. And I haven't wrote it on the board yet. And now we're on April 10th. And so that's like, well, that would give me 20 days to read the book, which is way harder than 30 days to read a book. And it's like, do I really want to write that on there? And then I'm like, well, I haven't wrote any goals for April yet on there. And every goal that I've been writing on there, I've been hitting. Like in March, my goal was to get 3 people to sign up for camp. I got 4, so it's like, these things are good. Like, why am I not doing them? Like, these are like, All
right, bro. Well, what we should do is find a book to read together in a month. What are you going to be reading this month?
Down for that, but I'm down to do that. We should get a book to read together at the same time. I guess I could probably read this. I have the book that I want to read next is Unshakable by Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn is the dude that changed my life. Kind of the first self-help, more motivational speaker dude that I ever listened to. kind of. What really happened was I went on YouTube and a ad popped up and it went like this. I'm here in my garage. And I was like, who the hell is this dude? He's like, you know what I like more than my Ferraris? Knowledge. And so I listened to Tai Lopez talk, and I was like, I've never heard someone talk like this in my life. And it wasn't even that I didn't believe what he was saying. I was just like, this dude's talking different. He's saying that you can learn whatever you want and you can earn whatever you want and you can have whatever you want as long as you like search knowledge or like willing to go get it. And I was like, this is crazy talk. And then I got recommended a seminar by Jim Rohn and I listened to it, and he's just a farm boy from Idaho that met a mentor that taught him that life is what you make of it, and you can't pick the seasons, and you can't complain about the taxes, and like just all this stuff that I never heard before. And I was like, holy crap. And I remember like after I finished that seminar, I text Bobby and I was like, after today, I'm going to be a different man. I'm going to make more money than I've ever made before. Like, today's the start of a new me. And she was like, you sound like a psycho. And literally from that day, I stopped listening to music when I was at Target. I would only listen to like self-help, super motivating stuff. And I just went on a journey. And I definitely became a different man. And I definitely started making way more money. And I changed my life for sure. And so I found this book. I started listening to like a ton of Jim Rohn seminars, but I never read one of his books. So I'm really excited to read this one. Yeah, I think a lot of times for people, if you want to change your life, they can easily just happen by listening to stuff on YouTube, because that's what I did.
So a couple things, bro. Next week, we'll get an update on your Unshakable book, on how that's going on your read. But then also...
Yeah, what do we got? We have 30 days left? How many days are in this month?
Well, we do not have 30 days.
30.
We have 20.
20 days.
How many pages are in the book?
Today, 21 days.
You got to divide that by 21. While you're looking that up. The other thing is, you just hit me with a meme that I haven't seen or heard in forever. The sitting here in my garage. You know what I like here in my garage. You know what I like more than Ferraris? Knowledge. I haven't heard that meme in so long, dude. That was such a meme in like that 2013 to 2016 era. I want to say that's when it was. Oh my goodness. I completely forgot about Tai Lopez. I believe that's his name. I'm gotta look it up now. You get how many?
Yeah, it's Tai Lopez.
How many pages are you at?
I gotta read 12 pages a day. I got that.
That's not bad at all, dude. That's not bad at all.
I'll finish this book. Yeah, I'll finish this book this month. And since I said I'm gonna do it on the podcast, it's actually gonna happen. Refuse to feel helpless. There are always options.
I'll try to find a book that we can both read in May. And then we'll start the Buckhouse Book Club right here on the podcast.
Boom. The Buckhouse Book Club.
I feel like our whole family would join in on that.
So you know how you were like, here in my garage is such a meme?
Yeah.
So to the mass majority, that they took that and they made fun of it. Made it a meme, they made fun of it. But seriously, for me, that ad changed my life. That ad, that hearing Tai Lopez speak like I've never heard someone talk like before, set me down a path of wanting to better myself. And so you can join the masses and make fun of the thing and think it's cliche or dumb, or like, most people were like, screw that dude, he's lying, like, knowledge, blah, 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 like, or just hold on, just listen. And it wasn't even that I didn't take his course. I didn't pay for his classes. I didn't go that route like Tony did. Tony bought Ty Lopez's, remember that? His course thing?
Oh my goodness, I do remember that.
Yeah, I didn't do that, but what it did is it sparked my interest. And then I found other legitimate people to learn. But I still don't make fun of Ty Lopez. I still think he's a really smart dude.
So admittedly, I never invested into Ty Lopez after that video. So I didn't really have an idea of who this guy was. But as I'm looking at it, I see that he does a lot of more content. But anyways, no, I think it was very memeable. I think you're right. A lot of people make fun of people that are trying to better themselves, which is just, it's so backwards. If you're seeing an overweight person in the gym, the people try to make fun of that. It's that person is just trying to get better. That person's trying to lose that weight. What's wrong with what they're doing? Or for us, we're trying to read.
In the gym. Making fun of anybody in the gym is ridiculous. Even if they're doing the workout wrong, whatever. It's dude, they're in the gym. Stop making this not a place of inclusivity and stuff. I feel the same way about the mountain. Making fun of people on the mountain is stop.
Yeah. It's when I think about the gym, and it's if people are ever it hasn't happened. This is all self-destructive thoughts, but it's if someone were to be you're only doing this weight on this or whatever, it's yeah, I'm working on it. It's called working out. That's the idea. It's why does it matter? You can't get to 100 pounds before you get past 50 pounds or whatever, so but a lot of people do make fun of people for self-help, right? For reading self-help books, or for investing in themselves with the seminars or webinars or whatever you're doing, right? And I think that it didn't help Ty Lopez was the way that getting made fun of for that. But that video, dude, it was everywhere, because it was you opened up a YouTube video and that was the first ad that you would see was, here in my garage. And then the way that he talked was just very funny, and it just became so memeable.
He doubled and tripled down and just kept running more and more of that ad. But he was the first person to do that.
Yeah. The video has 72 million views, by the way.
Yeah, he saw a opportunity in the market, was the first to do it. I personally know one person that bought that course. Also, before the people go to the comments, just want to share. So it's actually a Lamborghini, not a Ferrari. And then also, I was not too far off with the time frame. I said 2013 to 2016. The video is uploaded in 2016, so it's not too far off. But anyways, before the comments came in, yeah, he's here in my garage, my Lamborghini. It's funny too, because when he had the Lamborghini, but he wasn't in a very nice place at that time. He wasn't in a mansion or some, wasn't living in anything crazy.
That's what that's what a lot of people do is they'll get the flashy car, the vehicle. I don't know. Some people pick and choose, right? The true wealthy people in this world, in my opinion, what I see is that they do invest in a nice house. That's kind of where they invest, is they get a nice house and everything. And then their vehicles are usually used vehicles that are high in mileage. That's the way that it goes. And that's what I read in The Millionaire Next Door and things like that is don't invest in cars. But a lot of people will get a lot of money and they think that they're wealthy, but then they go and do stuff they'll buy a okay house and then have an overly nice car and things like that. And at the end of the day, whatever makes you happy. So do you. But from a wealth standpoint, that is a poor strategy, because your car is going to depreciate, whereas a house normally appreciates in value. So, it is funny when people do that. So I would not, based off this, what you said, a mediocre house with a really nice car, I would not take financial advice from this guy, because everything I heard goes against what he says. No, I'm joking.
Well, and if you live in a state or specifically up in the mountains where I live, dude, cars just get thrashed. It's, the weather is so hard on them, the roads, the constant rocks, cars gonna get beat up living in the mountains. So I do not like putting money into cars.
I like cars, I do. I don't really care for Lamborghinis.
I like turtles.
I like turtles. I like off-road type vehicles, right? And things along those lines. So it's a blessing and a curse. Or I would say blessing or curse. But it's difficult because I know that you don't want to invest in cars, but at the same time, like, I just really like cars.
You live somewhere that you have a nice car, it might get broken into.
Dude, you don't even have to have a nice car for it to get broken into. You could have an ugly car and it'll get broken into, dude. It doesn't matter. They don't care. I see so many broken windows.
So Ben lives in my home city, Colorado Springs, and I went down there this last week, and I have never felt more unsafe in the city that I grew up in. And I'm just like, dude, it's crazy. I don't know, it's crazy that it just. I forget. I am blessed. I live in the mountains in like a small town. It feels very safe up here, and then I go to Colorado Springs, and I'm like, it's not the. I don't know. It was rough.
No, I don't necessarily enjoy living in Colorado Springs anymore. It's most definitely sketchy. I don't feel safe, and I ask, Kirsty to have her carry with her usually because I just don't enjoy. I don't feel safe in an everyday environment, dude. I'll be honest. It's I don't feel safe driving around because I don't trust the people around me. There's always accidents. There's, I think since the spring weather kind of coming around, people don't have insurance. People don't pay for their car registration. Speaking of which, I'll come back to that. But anyways, I think since the springtime, the spring weather's come out and people started riding their motorcycles more, I personally have heard of like 12 different motorcyclists that have passed away. And I'm like, what is going on? I don't trust anything. So no, it's in what's funny is that people that live in cities like Chicago or, even like Dallas, they may look at this and be like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's like, it's what you grew up in versus what you live in now. Right. I feel like some of those areas were always pretty tough. And so like living in it now is the norm for you guys. Whereas for us, Colorado Springs was not that way. I would not recommend this to any capacity, but growing up, our mom wouldn't lock the front door. Like we would just chill and stuff. And it's like, that's just something you don't do nowadays. And, if I left my car unlocked, it'd be like, sorry, that was an accident. It is what it is. Now it's like, I left my car unlocked. Did anyone get into my stuff? Like that's the first thing you're thinking of. And I just don't trust anything to any capacity. I don't like that feeling. And Kirsty and I have talked about other opportunities, but it's tough just with the job opportunities we have at the moment and, where we can go from there. So.
Yeah, it's super frustrating because that just means crime in general is getting worse, and it could just be because Colorado's getting a lot busier, more crowded. The frustrating thing though is like, realistically, it's probably getting worse because it's getting harder and harder to live in Colorado because it's getting more and more expensive to live in Colorado. So there's a lot more people that are struggling to be here, so their needs are rising, so that's why they're breaking into cars to hopefully find some money or to it's making more desperate people, so people are doing more desperate things like breaking into people's vehicles or just not paying for car insurance now because they, out of all the bills, where can they like skimp on something, and so it is frustrating because I live in a state that one I love to be in, I grew up in, I need to be in it for my job in a way. But man, is it so expensive, and I want to just buy my family a house, and it's like it's truly impossible for me to buy a house with the needs that my family has where I live, and it's like it's so frustrating.
Yeah, I don't understand necessarily. Like Colorado Springs has become a popular area to live, and so a lot of people want to move here, but it's also very expensive for those same reasons. So why, like, how are, I don't want to stereotype or whatever, but it's like, just how are people that can't afford stuff, right? How are like the people that are struggling able to move here, or why are they moving here? But then also then like, why does crime go up and everything? It just doesn't correlate to me in my mind, where it's like, you would think that if somewhere is very expensive to live, that generally wealthier people would move there, and generally wealthier people are not into as many crime situations, right? So it's just like, I don't understand the correlation.
I don't think it's people moving to Colorado. I think it's people that have like grown up, like they already were here.
That's fair.
Does that make
That's
sense?
Fair. Yeah.
And so it's either like, I just graduated high school and like I just cannot get started, or it's like, I've been here for 10 years and then the last, realistically, it's probably more like my case, like I've been an adult for 16 years now. It's like I've been here for 16 years, and then the last 10 years it's become like insanely hard to live here now. Like now I'm pretty desperate type thing. So I don't think it's that like, oh, someone from Missouri moved here and it's just way more expensive than they were expecting. I don't think that's the case. It's just everything around you is getting more expensive. All of a sudden your rent is $2,000 a month. You're like, dude, I was renting the same place for $600 when I graduated high school. Like, what?
That does make more sense to it, but I don't know, I still think that some people are moving here, and it's just like, I'm trying to understand the why.
And it's right. All the prices are rising because more people are moving here. Well, Colorado's the best state by far, like across the board.
Yeah. Anyways, I do. I already replied to this comment and never got a response, but I just want to touch on something. We talked about car registration a couple of weeks ago, and how people in Colorado just don't pay for the car registration; they just get away with it. And somebody commented and they said the audacity you have to take this hogwash of a system that seriously, where you think the police should focus on messing up people's days who probably can't afford to pay it in the first place. Disappointed in your stance on this topic. Johnathan's brother. I already responded, but I'm going to be honest. I don't pity people like that. I do not pity people that can't afford to pay for car registration or this or that. And it sounds messed up, but the reality is that owning a vehicle is a privilege, not a right. It's not a right to have that vehicle, and so it's not.
Owning a electric skateboard will get you anywhere.
Owning an electric skateboard could get you anywhere, a scooter, whatever. But also, there's the public transportation system. Like, I know that it's easier to have a vehicle. I know that I'm privileged enough to have my own vehicle, right? I am well aware of that. But because I'm privileged to have this vehicle, I also play by the rules, because I know that it's not just like, oh, I'm a human being in the United States of America, so I deserve a vehicle even if I can't afford it. No, that's not how that works. If you can't afford it, you can't afford it, right? So, you can consider me a bad guy, but
that's just the world we live in nowadays. I mean, look at anyone that's quote unquote broke or struggling for money, all that type of stuff. Guess what they have? Smartphone. Normally it's an iPhone. It's not a right for everyone to have an iPhone. It like an iPhone is quote unquote a privilege, but in this world that we live in, it feels like it is a right to have an iPhone. I live in America. I should have an iPhone. I should have a car. I should have these like things. It's like, no, these are things you got to work for and be hard for. I didn't have an iPhone until I was 21. The iPhone was out for many years before I actually got like a legit, phone. So but like if you look at kids in junior high, like every kid in junior high has an iPhone. It's like, what? No, like where was I getting an iPhone in junior high?
Dude, I see younger kids having iPhones of their own nowadays. It's just like, I understand that the world has changed and everything, but once again, like you can live your life without an iPhone and you could live your life without a car. Is it harder? Yes. But it's a privilege to have those things. It's a privilege. That's just outright what it is. And, I know I'm a white male in America, a white straight male in America. So, all I get is privilege according to some. But, the reality is like, yes, it is a privilege to have a vehicle. But just because you have it doesn't mean that you can like just avoid the rules. It's not that the rules don't apply to you and everything like that. So yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna call that person out. Holding Campo 6739. Like I don't feel bad for people that can't afford that stuff. I feel bad for people that live a very frugal life and can't afford food. I feel bad for those people. But no, the other thing is like car registration. On an average, I said this in my response, like $200 to $300 a year. That's like $20 a month. If you can't figure out $20 a month, like you've got bigger problems than that, So, but yeah, I don't feel bad for those people. I think that you can figure it out.
Yeah, one thing I will say is I really am excited that for Roman and stuff, the like kids having iPhones and things like that, like that's all getting figured out because they're coming out with phones that look like iPhones that only have texting and calling on it. Like you cannot install other apps and stuff. And so like, I'm excited that people are recognizing that you can't just give the kids full access to the internet in junior high or whatever, but like the ability to communicate with mom and dad is important. But yeah, I mean, a privilege versus a right are definitely two different things, and it's, yeah, I don't know. I just think a lot of people, I don't know. Like I know it can feel like, oh, I work at this job, I only get these hours, I can't do anything to change my situation. I know it can feel that way, but there's definitely always something you can do. You can always sell something you have. You can always pick up shifts, DoorDash. I know you've done that a bunch where like you need extra money, you'll run Uber Eats, and like there's always other options, other ways. And it might take a long time. It might be really hard. But I mean, I was a manager at Target making $20 an hour thinking I was killing it. And then I listened to Jim Rohn and I was like, oh, I'm nothing. Like I really got to figure this out. And then I learned about taxes and I learned about owning a business and I learned how to make money on the internet. And I completely changed my situation and I make 4 times as much as I used to make. It's possible. If I can figure out how to make money snowboarding on the internet, someone else can figure out how to make money doing something else.
Yeah, to be honest, it goes down to like the want and drive to figure out how to make more money, but it's also like it's just the way that you're spending your time and money. So instead of spending all that time on that smartphone that you have on Instagram, just scrolling, and TikTok and just doom scrolling, right?
Watch Johnathan Buckhouse and listening to the Buckhouse Podcast.
You could listen to the Buckhouse Podcast where we talk about finances and talk about building business and everything. But no, it's genuine. It's like, it's where you invest your time. Just by simply changing who you follow on Instagram or TikTok or whatever will change your algorithm, will change your outcome in life. If you changed it from me scrolling through, scrolling through funny videos all day to me scrolling through how to sell stuff on Amazon and eBay by our brother Tyler, links down below. But if you change it from what you're consuming, but also just stop consuming that stuff in general and just start actually taking action and doing something, there's that. And then when it comes to the finances, is just get rid of those small purchases. Stop buying a $7 coffee every single day, or even a couple of days a week or whatever it is. Stop buying that stuff. Stop going to the gas station and buying $4 bags of chips and eating that, right? If you're just strategically spending your money better, stop buying these overpriced items and all that stuff. And then also by spending your time wiser of investing in yourself or researching or whatever it is, or actually selling stuff or actually Ubering around rather than sitting on the couch. Like if you just look at your everyday life and see what you're spending your time and money on, you can easily change the outcome of your finances and everything right there.
I mean, it's crazy how fast something can stack up. So, like me and Bobby trying to buy a house, we were very strict on our finances for the last 4 or 5 months. And let's just say the last 3 weeks we got a little loose, just getting ready for summer, trying to get ready to, I don't know, Bobby was like, we should get some like new gym clothes. We should do so we like spent a little bit of money, and it's amazing what like, oh, $50 on Shein, sure, whatever. Like, oh, like, yeah, $50 at Walmart, whatever. And also I looked at the credit card statement. I was like, dang, we got like $1,000 to pay out. Like, what did we spend our money on? And you go and look at it, and it's like, there wasn't like any big purchase. It's just a lot of like little ones that at the end of the month, like, it was just like, holy crap, we spent like way more than I thought we were spending.
It always is the little transactions. It always is. Like, that's, from everything I've heard, it's always the small transactions that get you. And yeah, if you're going and spending $1,000 a weekend, that's a problem. But your average person doesn't do that. So for your average person, it's the little purchases that add up, right? Do you really need to go buy, like at the end of the day, it's like, did you need to go buy brand new gym clothes? I can't speak for you, but for me, if I need to buy gym clothes, because yes, I do need to do that occasionally, need to buy new shorts or shirts because I'm getting bigger, I go to the Goodwill. That's what I do.
We use Shein. We buy the Chinese made.
I will say there's I'm going to say it properly because that's exactly what it is. I've got some wants for different gym clothes, as in like, I kind of want to get those shorts I see online where it's got like the compression shorts underneath and then the other shorts on top. Like, I don't know. I've always liked that style, and I would like that, but
I'm a huge advocate of putting your money where your mouth is or getting financially invested. So like you just said, you really want those shorts. And now you finished 75 hard and you're struggling with motivation and you still want to keep working out like that. So it's like, well, buy one pair of those shorts. You just spent $60 on them, but now you're going to take those shorts to the gym. Hopefully not every day. Hopefully you're washing them and stuff. But it's like you put money into the thing. And so like, that's what kind of like me and Bobby's motivation was like, let's get a couple new like workout clothes. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get these new clothes that I want to look good in, and I want to like get back in the gym, and like now I have like a little bit more motivation because I put some money behind what I want my actions to be. And to some people that could be a big motivator. So like for me, like I want to skateboard this summer. Well, if I go out with the same skateboard deck that I've had for the last 2 years, I'm gonna just like I'm gonna skate. But it's like it's not good. But if I get a new skateboard deck, if I put $80 into a new deck for this summer, oh, dude, I'm just gonna skate more. I put money. I bought it. You're financially more invested.
Yeah, and I do agree with that in a lot of ways. I think that it can help, like, gear you in the direction that you want to go in, right? Or help motivate you in the direction you want to go in. I do think it's a dangerous slope, though, because some people will overinvest into something and then never really come back to it, right? So if you've never gone to the gym a day in your life, yes, you probably need to have some gym clothes, but don't go buy the most expensive gym clothes thinking that, all of a sudden, I'm going to go to the gym now that I got these clothes, right? So it's got to prove yourself a little bit, but before investing into it. But no, I know what you mean. It's like a revamp, a remotivator. You're like, I used to do this. I just need something new to get me going. So I know what you mean, bro.
Yeah, don't be the dude that jumps into a new hobby and you don't even know if you like it. Like so many people are like, I want to start snowboarding. What snowboard should I buy? And I'm like, you shouldn't. You should rent. You should rent snowboards until you've figured out snowboarding.
Yeah. Some people literally cannot stand snowboarding. Like they want to, they go and try it once and they have such a miserable first day that they will never touch a snowboard ever again. And then they'll switch over to skiing, which is fine. But it's like some people cannot stand.
Imagine if you bought a $700 snowboard before day one,
It doesn't make sense if at the end of the day, and if you do end up going snowboarding, if you do end up loving it, that you go 30 days in a season. But it's like, if you're starting off, rent your gear and buy a day pass. Don't go, I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to go buy a $700 snowboard with $300 boots and all the snowboard gear and the best goggles and all this stuff and a $1,000 ski pass. I've never gone before, but I'm going to buy all this stuff. And then you go and then you're like, this sucked. And then you're also like, oh, I didn't realize how much effort this takes. Going every weekend is going to be so difficult. Like, just put your toe in the water first before investing thousands of dollars into it, you know.
Or just if you have buddies that can hook you up with hand-me-downs and things, that's a good way.
Yeah, going with friends is a great way to get started.
Like with anything, like surfing, skateboarding, I don't know, any action sport. Honestly, I don't know why I love action sports so much. Maybe it's because I'm a 90s kid, but man, I'm so drawn to action, like skateboarding, snowboarding, like surfing, wakeboarding.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think that some people find it attractive, or I say attractive, but some people find it extremely entertaining with, you know, whether they actually do it or not, right? So I think action sports are cool, though. I don't know. I don't enjoy a lot of team sports. I enjoy football, but I was never a fan of basketball. I tried it and I absolutely hated it. I never cared about it before trying it, but I absolutely hated it. Baseball, I've tried watching it. Can't stand it. There's not a lot of team sports I like.
I definitely got Roman the sports bug. Like, he watched the Nuggets game the other night, like the whole thing. Like when he was sick, I was like, "You want me to put a movie on?" I was like, "Or the Nuggets are playing." He goes, "I want to watch the Nuggets." So I put the basketball game on. He just watched the whole basketball game.
I went to a Nuggets game, and I can most definitely understand why people enjoy basketball. By like when I went to the game, I could most definitely see why people enjoy basketball. But just me, like, I don't know. I tried playing it, and it just didn't stick with me, and that's fine. It's not for everybody. That's fine. But going to a game, I was like, this is entertainment right here. Like that's what it was. Very entertaining to go to a game, and I understand why people enjoy it. So.
It's just not, like on TV, I find it not entertaining till the last 5 minutes of the game because everything leading up to the last 5 minutes didn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, that's why I was saying, like, going to the game, it was nonstop entertainment, right? You got the play happening in front of you, you got the replay screen above you, and then every time that there was like a break, a commercial break or this or that or whatever, you got a dance team showing up on the court, or you've got some like side
Stuff
game being played. Yeah, it's like stuff getting shot into, like it literally is.
Basketball stadiums are also smaller. You know, they only fit like 18,000 people. So like the interacting with the crowds is a lot easier. Where I've had a football stadium, you're talking about like 78, 90,000 people. You know, it's quadruple the size. So it's way harder to interact with the crowd.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's why, like, I don't know. It was very entertaining. It was a very entertaining experience. I had a lot of fun. The other thing is that going from watching so many football games where I'm not saying it's boring, because I don't find it boring, but to some people it probably is. But it's like there's a lot of breaks, right? You know, between snaps, between plays, between, you know, this or that or whatever. And there's a lot of like the injury stuff, or there's also just prolonged, you know, breaks with the timeouts or commercial breaks and stuff. Whereas basketball is literally like, oh, offense just did something. Okay, defense is already on. Oh, offense just did. Oh, defense. It's like going. It's back and forth so fast. So it was most definitely a different experience than watching a football game for me. So,
absolutely. Well, we could keep talking, but I think we did it, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we did do it. Yes, with season 2, we got a bunch of new stuff. So expect some new videos. Expect that. See that merch down below. Go check it out. Just go check it out. Why not? Go see what we got.
Trying to hit 500 subscribers is big too, because then we can put the merch under the videos. So if you are not subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and like the video.
Share it with your friends. Share it with your mom. Share it with your grandma. Share it with whoever you would like. Just share it. But yes,
and if you want to get called out by Ben in the next week's episode, drop a comment, specifically one that he disagrees with, and he will call you out.
Yes. No, I will defend myself to the moon. No, but no, please join the conversation down below, whether you agree with us, disagree with us. We love hearing you guys' point of views. But yeah, but thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for being a part of the conversation. Johnathan, thank you for being you. Benjamin, thank you for being you. And yeah, I guess we will see you guys next week with another episode. Peace.
Peace.